Still plenty of reason for the Celta fans to smile. Tied for the lead in points. However, that could change as the second half about ready. A little good, bad, and ugly today. But for Real Madrid, plenty to celebrate. Get into the particulars in a moment, but Ray, if you're Eduardo Berizzo, what can you tell your team? Maybe be a little sharper, but they have to pretty much keep doing what they've been doing. I think they've been a little naive, Phil. This Celta team, they were suited against Barcelona's wide open space and their high pressing, their high back line. That's a team that Celta, the way they're constructed, can press and can have success, and they did. Against Cristiano's team, it's a whole different setup, and we talked about it and warned about it in the preview show and on the locker room last night, and it all came true. Now, that's not to say that Aspas's team haven't had their opportunities. You're going to get your chances when you play that wide open with the type of forwards that they have got. But thanks to that man in goal, they've kept it at zeros, and it's magnificent when you need a goalkeeper like that to call on to come to the rescue, and he's complementing this impressive Real Madrid team. And just one last thing, Phil, before I let you say, that first half performance is typical of Real Madrid coming together in the way they did against PSG, and the players that have stepped in for the missing players, the missing superstars, the likes of James and Bale, and well, let's put Carvajal in there as well. For me, those three players, it's going to be very difficult for them to get back into this team. Benzema might be a different option. I think Benzema will always have his players waiting for him, but the other ones, I'm not so sure. Playing like a fist of a team and looking for the knockout against Celta today. No changes in the lineups. Mayo, Cabral, Gomez, and Castro in front of Sergio Alvarez for Celta. Fernandez, Vaz, and Hernandez in the midfield. Oriana, Aspas, and Nolito up front. For Real, it's Navas in goal. Danilo, Varane, Ramos, and Marcelo. Casemiro, Modric, and Kroos. Vasquez, Ronaldo, and Hesse. If Celta's got a chance, it's certainly going to come in this second half, with the tired legs of Real Madrid after their exertions in Paris do take their toll. They need to sharpen up their game, though. They've had a good locker room debate under Berizzo. Let's see if they're sharper in this second half as the tired legs from Real Madrid probably start to come out. Kept alive. Oriana! He had Navas beaten, but he could not beat the post. Lovely setup from Nolito. Wonderful squirrely run on the outside here. Little dink past him and setting him up for the curler. It's a wonderful effort, just not high enough for that postage stamp in the top corner. Take a look at the stats at the half, by the way, lads, Ray. And they're certainly warming them up early, Phil. I think there'll be some tired legs that are going to be replaced in this second half from Real Madrid. This tells you a little bit about both Celta and Real under Rafa Benitez. Ray, possession, Celta 52-48. Shots, Celta 11 with 6 on goal. For Real, just 4. And the only 2 on goal were the 2 that went in. So, as you like to say, there's statistics, damn statistics, or was it lies, damn lies, and statistics? Yeah. But 3 points at the end for Real. Vaz again wide of Navas. Always willing to unload the Danish international. In worse efforts from that distance, under pressure. We're going to take a look, and now another chance. As Vasquez, the A Coruña kid, gets around, but he cannot lift it over Alvarez. Oh, that's a bad decision in the end from Vasquez. He traveling at pace. I thought he was going to try to pull Alvarez out. He didn't have any support on the inside of him. I thought he could have pulled the goalkeeper out and maybe tried to drive past him, but he tries to take the cheeky way out. Here's his one-on-one. Lovely dance past the last defender. Akil try. Aspas One back by Celta, turning the pressure up. Nolito trying to pirouette around, but had a grab of the defender. And again, it was Casemiro in the way. Getting back to Vasquez, mentioned he came up through Curtis FC in A Coruña, went to nearby Ural FC, where the ex-Fran Gonzalez Deportivo star used to be, but instead followed the footsteps of the ex-Real Madrid great Paco Bullo.
Still thought Vasquez could have taken the initiative. I don't think he would have been criticised for trying to take it round the goalkeeper there.
Orellana.
He's confident though to try the cheeky chip.
Gross. Beautiful touch, and now Danilo again. Danilo's been vital to the attack for Real. Ronaldo draws a few boos.
A few.
Laid back for Ronaldo, left foot pings off of Johnny and out for a corner.
$28,000 people fit into this tight little stadium. 28,000 people booing Cristiano at every touch. Used to it.
Swinging away, playing his line Alvarez. Orellana beaten to the ball and tripping up Vasquez in the process. Maybe by design, trying to sneak an open shot for Ronaldo.
That's
almost
good.
Worked.
Cover by Pablo Hernandez. He doesn't get to this. Cristiano's onto it like jumping jack flash. It's a beautiful ball played in. He's onside and there's that electric pace, but Hernandez, the Chile international, covers.
Cross lofts it. Essay on the far side.
Again, Phil, Hesse working hard. It's a lovely ball.
Marcelo forced to go wide off of Mayo, and it kicks out
Hesse
for a throw.
so often just take his shift off over the years after he was so wonderfully introduced into Real Madrid's starting team. But he's a different attitude about him now, working to get the ball back a lot more feverishly, I believe. That's a lovely spin. Advantage played, sort of.
Is there anything to it? Nice touch, Nolito, but then a lunge from Danilo knocks it free. There might be a card at the end, but Real Madrid denies Celta.
Well predicted, Phil, the soothsayer.
Carlos Close doesn't like to call penalties, but he does call about an average of 6 yellows a game.
Danilo tackle at the end of this, the advantage is placed, but Danilo, wonderful calculated gamble, lovely length about him, this right back for Real Madrid, lovely build about him, different than Carvajal, who I think is a wonderful player as well. Look at this run from Danilo.
Ronaldo trying to come around it as he's falling, keeps it alive for Kroos. Lifted in for Ronaldo, but the header up and over.
A fabulous run from Danilo. The highlight will show Cristiano's poor header, but the surge from Danilo in the earlier attack was absolutely magnificent. Again, the service from Marcelo, better than Rolls-Royce. Absolutely on the head of a pin, in between the two defenders, and he should be annoyed and never get better service than that anyway. Magic.
And for Danilo, couldn't get there. Good lunge by Celta, but Varane is there to pluck it away. And it's Vasquez all the way back. He's not a superstar, at least not yet. He's doing all the little things, though. And that's something you were talking about. Some of these big names that are either on the bench or on the shelf. Vasquez and Casemiro want to make it a very difficult decision for Rafa Benitez.
And Hesse not letting the team down at all either.
Nice little touch to the inside. Ronaldo with a burst of speed, but needed more.
Good play.
Cabral almost stops it. Marcelo again, and then sliding over to poke it away.
Started it by Hesse. Just as we were singing his praises, he plays a lovely ball into straight for Cristiano, who sees the ever wonderful support from his best mate, and he plays it into straight, but that's good cover from Celta Vigo that time. Mario coming to the rescue.
Marcelo and Aspas getting there at the same time. Close, not buying the card calls. That's gotta hurt.
Yep. Traveling at big speed as well, but certainly gets the clamps put on him by Marcelo.
Don't forget, immediately following this match, bit of Serie A with Carpi against Bologna. Might be at the bottom of the table right now, but that makes it even more important for both. Granada against Betis to come a bit later.
Aspas, sick and tired of being Mr. Nice Guy to the referee, starts spitting his verbals like Mussolini at the balcony towards the ref. That rash challenge by Ramos.
Is it rash or is it calculated?
Good
Beautiful ball set up for Nolito, back to his favored
Nicely!
right. Drops it for Pablo, or the chance for Fabian Orellana, but he can't keep the shot down.
Goes for the side foot placement and maybe should have went for the straight through with his laces. It's a beautiful ball played into him. Lovely consideration from Nolito. Red carpet pass, and there's the side footer. He opens himself up way too high. Comes in with his laces and strikes the sweet spot. It's a more difficult discipline, but that was the one that was required. Really felt as if he could side foot that one in, but got it all wrong and lucky.
Celta again on the front foot. Orellana impeded Casemiro, though does it cleanly. Modric. Interesting. Modric dropping back. It's Kroos that's actually the highest advance to the midfielders. Well, that one gets called a foul, and the Celta fans not happy, and that's a second yellow. He got a yellow for the foul and then another for protesting, and now another yellow for Aspas, who gets in Carlos Klos's face. The first red card of the season, and it goes to Celta in rather strange circumstances.
What's annoying them is the amount of cards that they feel as if should have been presented to Sergio Ramos in Real Madrid for challenges that certainly looked, well, worthy of yellow card. That's all I can say. And they were denied by this referee. When Celta Vigo got similar challenges, this is a pullback, no question about it.
It's cynical. Well, that actually should be a yellow card against Ramos for calling for it, but they never do that anymore. And here the magic word for Pablo Hernandez, and he's gone. Actually, it was Cabral who said the word, so he wasn't even involved in the foul. He'd already been carrying a yellow. And now down a man, and this will take some teeth out of the Celta bite.
Well, all of the dust that's been circling about La Liga, with linesmen coming out and making strong accusations that Real Madrid get favoured more than they should, will be headlines again.
Well, more than they should. The reports are that they're being told to favor Real. Of course, Tebas, the man in charge of the league, says there's nothing to it. No smile on the face of Carlos Mourinho at the moment, and Florentino Perez. Maybe business as usual.
No, I'm not so sure. Unable to get words out of his mouth. The Celta Presidente seeing his men a little hard done by, given the amount of cards that were kept in this referee's shirt earlier that could have been presented to Real Madrid players. Got to see it.
Hangs high in the air. Alvarez drops back, headed back across the middle. Vaz finally comes down with it. Stolen away, Nolito, quick touch forward. Orellana fights through the challenge of Danilo, goes around Modric, tries to come back. And now a yellow as Vasquez gets knocked down. And Aspas in his face.
No cards, but this crowd absolutely volatile and vitriolic now towards the man in red. Certainly a foul against Vasquez.
Orellana even chopping down, tempting fate.
Now, how is that not a yellow card against Orellana? Because it absolutely should be. That was cynical from Celta Vigo's man against Vasquez.
And as a strike, it arguably could have been a red. As players like to say, just be consistent. And there has not been team to team, foul to foul. That was close, up for consideration for that big Real Barca match, but doing this match, probably not. Modric stuck between the wickets of Marcelo. Half-hearted cheers from the crowd. Let's see if the 10 on the field can give him something to scream about. Nolito again bumped off by Vasquez, shoulder to shoulder. Fans see something different, and now Nolito comes up barking. Well, a kid from the streets, he knows all the words he shouldn't say. And apparently he shared some of them.
Nolito gets the ball. He's come across. Pushed off of the ball by Lucas. Referee sees it a different way. We've seen Cristiano giving those sorts of calls all game long.
Final play for Lucas as Isco will check in.
It's not as if Real Madrid need any help from this referee either, Phil. This is just, for me, it's been a very sketchy performance, and it's starting to spoil not just an impressive performance by Real Madrid, but it's taking away any opportunity that Celta Vigo have had in the building up, and we've got a lopsided game now.
This is one of those things when you complain about referees. As you point out, what we've seen tactically from Real Madrid, the finish set up by Vasquez for Ronaldo, Danilo from Hesse, Navas with 6 saves, all outstanding, but the headlines tomorrow might be around Carlos Close. Ramos. Modric touched away, but straight to Varane. Credit to Celta keeping the pressure on. This is the first match of the day. More to come. But if this score holds, bar a blowout tomorrow by Barcelona over Eibar, it will be Real Madrid staying at the top of the table. Weaving through the midfield. Second goal giving Real Madrid a lot of comfort.
Yeah, but the sending off of the player, the Celta player as well, giving them increased confidence. Now game looks as if it's gone.
Modric in for Ronaldo, turns and shoots, but Alvarez was ready. Mentioned Carlos Close averaging 6 cards a game. He's given 6 to Celta, just 1 to Real. Carlos Close, normally one of the better refs from Spain. This is that 1 out of 10.
it was the frustrations there before. And
up to the inside, Orellana poked free by Varane. Burst of speed from Isco as he chops his way downfield. Ronaldo tees it up, strikes it in. Alvarez able to deflect it wide.
No angle on the shot. Well played by Isco. Wonderful run over a good distance. Beautiful outside of the boot pass. Tight angle for Cristiano. Had Isco running in for the pullback, but it's not given.
Well, let's bring this up as the corner coming in from Isco. Near post touched and then deflected up and over by Orellana. They'll do it again. There has to be something said about Berizzo's Celta also. It might have been Carlos Close who was stacking up the firewood, but they're the ones who lit it, losing their cool and possibly the game because of it.
I think there was issues way before that flash point though, Phil, that was the aggravating point for the Celta players.
Driven low for Ramos, cleared away.
It finally boiled over in that real showdown in front of the ref, and you're right, certainly, but they had an axe to grind against this ref for a lot of the decisions that they didn't get. That needs to be stated as well. What innocuous decisions either, little calls that were fouls in non-threatening positions that were just denied time and time again. Magic.
Isco needs to do well to get more time, and this might be it.
Again. Brilliant.
Around Johnny.
Wonderful.
Slight deflection from Gomez. A swing and a miss by Marcelo. Fans wanted a handball, but that would have been harsh. Cross. Milito back inside for Hernandez. Aspas for Hernandez. Orellana. Looks like they've dropped Agustin Fernandez to the back line to fill in for Cabral, one Argentine for another.
Wonderful control here. Hesitation, legs taken, drives through them. Another player comes in as well, sees his target and finds it.
Ray getting back to, as you point out, as Vaz will check out to be replaced by Redoya. This will fill that Agustin Fernandez gap just a bit. Will put more pressure on Pablo Hernandez. When Berizzo gets to the dressing room after, he's going to say, hey, there's nothing you can do about the ref. You got to worry about yourself. And maybe a bit selfish from Cabral with that little outburst, especially already carrying a yellow. Midway through the second half, Celta continuing to fight.
Well, you're right, Phil. Dissent is what it was that got Cabral sent off, and it's always tough to control a lot of times. And again, the table was set for that frustration by decisions earlier that coulda, shoulda went Celta's way. And again, I'm not talking about penalty kicks or situations around the goal mouth area. I'm talking about little challenges that were always penalised.
Cheryshev a bit chippy in his own right last time out, but it might have saved them against PSG. Getting a chance off the bench, it appears. Isco around the challenge of Orellana. Isco slapped off the bar by Alvarez. Almost goal number 3.
It's wonderful on the build-up again. The slingshot is millimeters away from finding the target.
Marcelo.
He's in.
Drops. Looking for Isco, but stolen away.
He had Cristiano on the inside, on the far post, and he had Isco for the pullback, and he also had the shot for himself. He's not going to pull the trigger this time. Marcelo tries to set up Isco. Maybe should have went to the Dark Invader at the back or his own shot, but was certainly, as there's a wonderful look at it, the curling shot. It is saved by Sergio Alvarez, pushed on to the bar, it seemed, in that replay, and there, wonderful save by the Celta youth product.
Out comes Hesse.
Good game. Tactically wide, wonderful positioning, holding up his position nicely, taking his licks, setting up a goal. Industrious and talented. Good performance, and a player that's improving under Rafa Benitez, seemingly.
Cheryshev, another one of those young players that's been biding his time for a chance. Some thought that he would have been loaned out this season, with Benitez maybe favoring the veterans, but electing to hold on to him. In for Hernandez. Liana finds a gap. Wide for Nolito. Wrong foot's Danilo. Drops it back for Aspas, but cleared, and then finally slammed away. But on. Header from Gomez, but finds the wrong man. Wide for Isco. Cheryshev screaming for it. Isco trying to dump it into that upper corner, but can't.
Audacious attempt. He sees his target beckoning. Why not? He's got the skill. Just cannot adjust his gyroscope quite sufficiently. Cheryshev waiting at the back post. It would have took a peach of a pass to find him. He thinks he can go for the side net inside. Unlucky. Francisco. Wonderful ability from Nolito.
Celta heads cross country to take on Sociedad before returning home to face Valencia, and then it's the Galician derby against Deportivo November 21st. For Real Madrid at home to take on Las Palmas next week, then back to Champions League play hosting PSG. Then it's Sevilla, then it's Barcelona. So a breather with Las Palmas, and then 3 tough matches in a row. Almost through. It is Nolito. Nolito patiently past Navas, but not Marcelo. He did everything right but score. Hernandez.
Marcelo
dummies
magic
it through.
again. Navas beaten fair and square by wonderful ability on the run from Nolito. Gets a little bit of snap, crackle, pop. Sees Cheryshev coming, dances by him, beats Navas, but the Brazilian comes to the rescue there.
Nolito again. Celta short-handed, continuing to build. Curling run. Aspas sends it across, punched away by Navas. Straight to Cheryshev, and it's 3v3 if they hurry. Wide for Isco. Little legs churning to catch up. Plays it square. Cheryshev for Ronaldo, but he was thinking inside. The pass goes out.
Tremendous opportunities for Celta Vigo. It's such a shame that this game has been marred by the sending off and the cards towards Celta. It's a shame for the footballing observers. The passionate fans, of course, and Real Madrid won't mind. He'll say there's nothing wrong, but Celta will have a different viewpoint. But we had a wonderful game going on ahead of that sending off, Phil.
Good read by Ramos. Advantage
Wide
played as
open.
he's taken down. Up for Cheryshev, a burst of speed. Sergi Gomez tries to wrong foot him and does deflect it off of the Russian and out for a goal kick. Ray, one line that will be in that opening couple of paragraphs tomorrow when they talk about Carlos Close. And as I said, one of the better refs, but Real Madrid have not lost a game with Carlos Close as the referee in more than 7 years.
I think the president's face pretty much said it all upstairs when it went back to that, Phil, and it shouldn't be that way at all. And who knows if there's anything sinister. We don't. It didn't need, this game did not need that sort of intervention for my point.
It's man management, and you can argue, okay, if you say one of those magic words by the book, it's supposed to be a yellow. Same point, if you grab a ball when it's supposed to be taking a free kick, if you stand in front of a free kick, there's so many automatics.
Yeah.
Nolito into the box again. Just poked free at the last moment. But there's man management, both from a referee and a coaching perspective, and game management. And I think Carlos Close, a stickler for the rules, lost perspective.
It's the truth of it. Marcelo's heroics comes into focus.
Nice tackle. Fernandez quickly forward. Aspas around Ramos, but it's Navas again. He pays the price, but he stops the chance.
Again, it's his acceleration off of his lane is so impressive. Sergio Ramos gets undressed here by a wonderful attack, and Kehler recognizes the defender's done. Aspas is in, but then out of nowhere from the long grass, Navas emerges. Look at this again. Jungle cat quick off his lane, clean on his smothering of the ball, brave as a lion. Navas. Aspas is, it's not human.
Ray for Keylor Navas, 6 saves in the first half. That has to be at least his 4th or 5th stop that doesn't even count as a save. There's one of the earlier ones. Our good friend Sid Lowe, the expert writer for La Liga, texted at the half saying somewhere at the Bernabeu someone is hugging the fax machine, because he was at the airport staring at the plane, tears rolling down his cheeks at the prospect of leaving Real Madrid, but the paperwork did not go through in time. De Gea stays at United, and Navas a real hero for Real. Oh, that ripped jersey as he threw his body in front of the charging Aspas, and for Florentino Perez, a little life for Carlos Mourinho. Well, not exactly sure he likes the way this life is going. The extra man, possession percentage tilting back a little bit towards Real in the second half. Cheryshev spins away. Ronaldo. You saw Marcelo waiting for the gates to open. Never quite did. Danilo. Isco in a foot race and beaten by Castro, pinching all the way in from his left back position. Rounding Cheryshev, and now heading the other way Fernandez, and that draws a nice round of applause. Out wide, Aspas screaming for it. Instead, it's Nolito. Moriano making the run. Now he has to wait. Oh, intercepted by Cheryshev as they went for Mayo. Fernandez with a touch. Nice spin. Nolito from the right wing, poked away at the last moment. And the final switch will be Nacho. Some thought he would have started this match in place of the recovering Sergio Ramos. It'll be Modric who exits. Well, this will be interesting. Do they push someone up into the midfield?
With a tremendous performance by Luka. Beyond industrious, again, knits his team together in the midfield. So often, first domino pass that leads to the other ones falling. Just an all-round typical performance by Luka Modric, and reflecting his team's superiority over Iago Aspas' 10 men now.
Looks like they're going to go 3 in the back with Varane as a sweeper, or maybe Danilo perhaps pushing up, but now retreating to try and track back as the ball just carries. 2-goal lead and a man advantage. Rafa Benitez experimenting a touch.
Admirable gutsy performance in response from Eduardo Berizzo's men, club and fans.
Big Swede.
I don't think that they would have any problem leaving this stadium and saying we caught Real Madrid in a wonderful moment, and that's exactly what has happened. But overall, that won't be the taste in their mouth after this game. It would be for something completely different. It shouldn't be the case.
2 switches ready to check in. The final 2 for a tiring Celta.
Had a good game, didn't he?
The Chilean Hernandez exits.
Yeah. His header denied Pablo Hernandez by Petit Woman.
The other Chilean, Orellana, also will take a seat.
Now, Big Guidetti comes in, the Swedish international. Ex-Manchester City player, didn't play for the Citizens.
Held on to him for 7 years.
Yeah, he went on loan 5 times. Good player, Big John.
He was the man who got the final goal against Barcelona. Soft for Danilo. Sweeps it inside, laid back to the top of the box nicely. Interesting to see this Nacho Danilo dynamic. We've seen Marcelo push up to the wing before, but it's Danilo getting a chance today.
That's his range as well. He's got that wonderful athletic ability to get back in his hole once he leaves it.
There you see Carlos Planas, the other player who checked in. If the fresh legs can do anything. Well, Bedoya sends it out, and Guidetti could not keep his feet. Well, with 7.5 minutes remaining, it was Real, Celta, Barcelona topping the table, all at 18. And again, for Barcelona, they have some goal difference to make up.
How much?
Well, taking a look to start the day, Real Madrid was plus 16, so now plus 18. That would just mean Barcelona would need to put 12 on the board against Eibar. That match is at the Camp Nou, so you never know. Driven in, deflected wide. It'll be a throw in, but again, credit to Celta. Still out shooting Real Madrid 15-12, and possession dead level. Even though almost the entirety of the second half has been a man down. Lifted by Nolito. Cleared away. He's going to get to this clearance himself. Somehow keeps his balance and holds off the defense. Pulls back into a triple team. And with Carlos Close looking on. Absolutely not a whistle, but from the stands. Flipped in. Aspas lays off. Guidetti into the midsection of Varane. Ramos sweeping it clean. It is Celta on the front foot. And this is one of the arguments from a Real Madrid perspective. They're up 2 goals. They're up a man, but they're laying back. They might be winning 3 points, but are they winning it like Real? Chance for Nolito again. Forced out. Rifles it in! Postage stamp in the upper corner. Not even Navas could stop it.
Now, fabulous response from Nolito. This is an absolute crusher of a hit. A mix of a sledgehammer and a William Tell arrow from Nolito. As he takes control, he's already identified his reference point, top corner, and then he paints it in. No chance even for the magnificent Tico man. This is a pummeled hit, and he punishes the net over distance. Beautiful dynamic, lifts off and detonates it. Lynx eye vision and wonderful striking composure, finished with deadly, deadly accuracy. Oh, they're in here.
And looking for an equalizer, Guidetti. Laid back. Played square, Guidetti. Oh, just wide. That could have been the tying goal.
It's a strange attack, this. Celta De Vigo go to the left. Aspas was wide open on the right-hand side, but it still looked as if it was going to get pulled off. There's Aspas wide open here. Guidetti goes for the goal. Aspas goes to his knees. He should have had it once or twice. Guidetti feels as if he can finish it. Just needed to side-foot it into the path for Diogo Aspas for what would have been an unbelievable equalizer.
Ray, again, it was Nolito somehow. He's the poor man's superstar. His 7th goal, tied with Ronaldo, just one back of Neymar for the Pichichi lead. And that was only the 3rd goal allowed all season by Navas. And then set up what was very close to an equalizer. Again, short-handed. But here comes Celta relentlessly. Marcelo to the middle. Isco, soft. Right now, Celta screaming. Nolito lifting it. Aspas tried the overhead. The only chance he had. 3 minutes left of regulation.
Herculean effort to pick themselves up. Not just about the statistics with a situation where you have a player sent off. It's the spirit that goes out of your team, out of your crowd under those circumstances as well, against this particular opponent with this particular referee. But Nolito says, to hell with all of that. They're going to come back at them, and they have. Really Herculean, spirited performance from the Sky Blues.
Look at our Miller Lite player focus. Ronaldo on the board, but very quiet in the second half. Nolito with a goal and setting up 3 other chances.
Oh. Anyway, by Ramos, yeah.
Ray, take a look. The best seasons ever for Nolito. Benfica with 11 goals. But that came in 29 games. His first year at Celta, 14 and 35. 13 and 36 last year. He's already halfway there, and this is only his 10th game. He's getting better. Deflected away. Ramos trying to calm the waters. Chef back. Marcelo Long. New technical issues from Vigo. Again, it was Ronaldo in the 8th minute on a beautiful ball from Vasquez. 15 minutes later, Hesse was able to find Danilo on that overlapping run, and that's the way it stayed until 5 minutes remained. And Nolito pretty much created it all by himself. But the clock might not be finished yet. 90th minute. This is again getting back to the, are they playing like Real? With 2 goals and a man advantage, they could have put this to bed, but couldn't find a third. Ronaldo back for Marcelo. And now they'll just try and take it off the fire. Casemiro. Another good game for the Brazilian. Tripped up, and that'll eat some clock. I think one thing we have learned, maybe still a few questions about Real Madrid, but even in a loss, if this score holds, a lot of questions answered about Celta.
Phil, this is a good Celta team, and they were giving Real Madrid all they could handle until the sending off. It looked as if the half-time talk from Berizzo had worked wonders.
You could argue if they had stayed 11 on 11, they had a very good chance to win. And that's after beating Barcelona, Villarreal, and Sevilla already this season. Fighting for Cheryshev, kick save Alvarez, but the whistle had already blown. 5 minutes to be added. There was that rather long melee after the red card. Chance for Nolito, spins through, tries the pirouette, hooked by Casemiro, but the referee says play on. Cheryshev with the run, Ronaldo. Too close to Alvarez. Here comes Celta again. Now, some could say it's 10 on 12. 4 minutes remain. Nolito says, get it to me. Trying to spin away, keeping his feet. Aspas, they will get the call here. Advantage played, but quickly dissipates. This one's not over. 3.5 minutes left. Let's go, says Fernandez. With 35 yards out. Hopefully add on time for the foam. Nolito, back post. Danilo smartly plays it out, but it will be a corner. One problem, arguably their best player in the air is Gustavo Cabral, and he's the one that got the red. Although Guidetti very strong in the air as well. Navas feeling nervous. In swinger, but he'll grab it easily. Taking his time, the fans want the 6 count. Benitez just wants the final whistle. Almost stolen away. Both under pressure. Finding the open man. Cheryshev, but well won. Johnny Castro.
Pretty amazing game of football we've had. Real Madrid 2-0 up and looking very, very comfortable. All of a sudden, after the sending off, it seems that they're the one that have got the jitters here in the closing stages. Going to hold on, surely.
Final 2 minutes. Isco down the middle. Threads for Ronaldo. Burst through. Out comes Alvarez. Tried to chip him, but he leaves it short. He had that one at his mercy. In chops Isco, refusing to go down Nolito. Another advantage foul. Ray, this is what we talked about for Ronaldo. He did everything right, but that final touch, which in the past would have been a no-brainer. Oh, lifted by Alvarez into the area. The other point also, Ronaldo could have just tried to dribble around, and if that was shut down, just take it to the corner. But here he comes again, goes through the legs, up for Isco, sandwiched down, whistle silent this time, and Mayo says, I've got it. Final 30 seconds. Get back, screams Benitez. The ball carries to Ramos. Guidetti slams in, keeps it alive. Ramos on the ball now, taken back. And this might just do it. Ronaldo hooked up, but keeps his feet. Isco quickly. Danilo near side, almost rugby-like left to right. Carries over Marcelo. Tries to square, nope, tucks it in. Sticking the dagger in at the final stroke. It's 3-1 Real, but the scoreline does not reflect the game.
Topsy-turvy game ended by a man that I picked out at the start of the match to be arguably the most valuable player in this Real Madrid team, and what he offers to this scintillating attack of Real Madrid. In a thrilling game in the end, a game that was marred by poor refereeing. Real Madrid put the final cherry on the cake. Marcelo says his apologies to Cristiano. Cheryshev finds him on the back post. He's trying to find a dark invade on the inside, but then he sees the road blocked and dishes it off past Sergio Alvarez for a killer touch. I was trying to find you, buddy, but I'll take it anyway. Real Madrid get out of this lion's den with a 3-1 result, but there was a whole hell of a lot more to be said about it, and there'll be a lot of conjecture and controversy in the after game and the interviews like this. But for Real Madrid and for our sponsor Napa, it was their pure quality in the early going. Wonderfully set up from Vasquez to Cristiano, who was imperious with his finish. They played wonderful football in the first half. Hesse would set up Danilo, who would be unhesitant with his detonation. They were strong in defence, wonderful in the midfield, piercing in the attack. And Nolito would come back later on with 10 men and detonate this one for the best goal of the game. Marcelo, well, wouldn't be a show without punch, and he punches his ticket home, and Real Madrid's for the third one. Napa, pura calidad. 3 good goals for Real Madrid and a scintillating one from Nolito and brave Celta Vigo.
Brave Celta Vigo finishing a man down, and it was Real Madrid a novice up, or it could have been a different ending. The final score from Vigo, Celta 1, Real 3, still leaders of La Liga.